Coming into this fight, the debate wasn't about who was going to win. I don't know anyone that picked Campa to pull the upset. Teofimo was like a 25-1 favorite, and apparently a lot of late money came in on him and drove that line up even further. It was never about who was going to win the fight. It was always about how good Teofimo Lopez was going to look. Now, in my prediction video, I said the fight was probably going to end up being done in under 6. He finishes him in 7. And if we're being honest with each other, Lopez looked great in spots. But he also left us with some questions. For starters, he only weighed in at 138 pounds. Now, he's young. He can grow into the 140-pound division. But he's never going to have a size advantage at 140 like he did at 135. And I think that's going to be a bigger difference going on down the line as he steps up in competition than people may think. And if he's coming in as the smaller man, I wonder about his ability to hold his ground or even be the aggressor in there against the top guys. You look at this fight, he did a lot of backing up. And while I'll be the first to admit that I love the counter-punching game that he brings to the table, I think he's going to need a few more wrinkles in his game if he wants to snatch up all the belts at 140 pounds like he says he does. But I'll tell you this, overall, it was a very good performance. Now, the first thing I noticed, which I really like, was that he came out working the jab. You remember, we go back to that fight with Kambosos. Lopez comes out, and as soon as the fight starts, he immediately comes out throwing fight-ending bombs. Just right from the opening bell, he's putting everything into every shot. Not a very good strategy. He did not employ that here, switched it up, showed a little bit more patience, came out using the jab. I liked it a lot more. Now, in the first couple rounds, he got caught with a few shots. Nothing too big, but I think it's more of a flaw in his style. We saw Kambosos catch him with that overhand right. We saw Campa land it a few times tonight too. Now, Tim Bradley in the broadcast booth, I thought he called it out correctly. He said that Lopez is there to be hit after he's done throwing his own punches. He doesn't take an angle. He doesn't get out of the way. He throws his punches and he just stays there. He likes to watch his work. So if you can fire a counter off at the end of his combo, you'll know where to find him. And before he really started to get his rhythm of the fight, that's what Campa was able to do. Lopez said he only sparred for 2 weeks preparing for this one, so it's not surprising that it took him a couple rounds to get the flow. Campa was able to back Lopez up, apply some pressure. You could tell he was making him feel uncomfortable at times early in that fight. Lopez had to overcome that. He did. He took control. And once I'd say the third round hit, he really started to take over. Started to find his timing, started to use his upper body movement more effectively. He was backing up a lot, wasn't exactly the biggest fan of how much time he spent with his back against the ropes, but ultimately he made it work for him. As the rounds went on, he was able to land a lot of the crisp counter shots that he's known for. He was able to move forward at time to time behind combinations. He was always in control of the fight. Not only was he the more physically gifted fighter in there, but he was more talented. He had a higher ring IQ. He even got to the point he was showboating a little bit, using a little bit of footwork, moving around. You could just tell that he felt very comfortable in there and eventually was able to get the stoppage. Look, I liked a lot of what Lopez did, but as I opened up with, it left me with a few questions regarding how he's going to look against the top guys and what he's going to be able to do against somebody like Josh Taylor, a guy he continually calls out. I have no doubt that if Teofimo Lopez gets matched up in his next fight against Ryan Garcia at 140 pounds, he's going to be able to handle that. But some of these other guys may be a different story. So let me know what you guys think. Were you impressed with what Teofimo brought to the table tonight? What do you think the future holds for him at 140 pounds?